Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Stroke. I am your host and stroke survivor, Jerry Wall. And for those of you who are new here, I started doing this show to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, brain injury, and also to provide a platform for all survivors to share their journeys from all across the world. And also bring on experts in brain health so they can share their knowledge with us so we can learn more about the brain. And good morning, Kevin. And also, my guest today, Casey and Patricia, wonderful people. Now, Patricia will be doing the interview today because other things going on. Well, she'll explain it all. And good morning. And also, if you have any questions, please ask. Don't be shy. And if you have any comments, please, they'll all be on the screen. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Stroke, love it if you could. So let's sit back and we'll have a great time and listen to an inspiring story. Okay, well, good morning, you guys, and okay, let's bring on. Let's start here with Patricia, and we'll go let her know. And you guys, again, please ask questions and make comments, and looking forward to hearing this wonderful, inspiring journey. I, it's funny nice to see you. When I start clicking around on my mouse, I start shaking, and this is with my non-affected side. Anyway, it's not about me. So you can see the comments up here. I'm sure you can. Um,
Good morning.
Now this is Patricia, and
I'll tell you where Casey is.
yes, yeah. We'll start with that.
Okay. Well, I'm still learning that I don't need to make plans with Casey anymore. I made these plans for us to be on your show because we've been wanting to do it for a while. But I didn't realize she had made plans on her own, and she's having Thanksgiving dinner at her oldest daughter's school today. So she split, she gone.
And that's okay. I mean, she's had her stroke 5 years ago, so I'm sure you can get into like the story because I know you were there probably 24/7.
I was with her. I have not left her uh, for a long period of time since she became sick. But while she was so sick in the hospital, I left that hospital one time overnight, and that was because her brother was with her, and I never worry when Jacob's around. So I came home and I slept and I went back, and I haven't left her.
Right.
She's probably ready for me to go on.
Now, just maybe we can go like rewind the clock, rewind the clock before she had her stroke.
Yes, before she had her stroke, Casey and I have always been close. I mean, raising her was such a joy. She was just like a live baby doll. And we've always been close. Now, as she grew and became older and a mother of her own, and anyone who has a daughter will understand this, but we used to have little disagreements. I mean, we would have bad arguments early that morning and then have lunch like nothing ever happened. And that's why I say, if you have a daughter, you know how that goes between mothers and daughters. But we were always close. And I think for me, when Casey did open up and share with me things that she hadn't for 8 years, I think something flipped, like a switch flipped inside of me because I just didn't want to leave her. I just wanted to protect her.
Sure.
I know she's a young woman, but she's still my
Mhm.
child.
Yeah.
Her cells are still in my body.
Yeah.
That's my child.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm not ever going to give up on any of my children.
Not at all. No. And
I am so
what?
blessed that the
Yeah.
other three, I don't have to worry about them. If you can raise your children and you don't have to worry about them in any aspect other than the daily normal things, then that is a blessing. And
Right.
I don't have to worry about my other three. But my Casey, I'm learning I don't have to worry about her like I have for the past 5 years
Right.
either.
Now, 5 years ago.
Today.
No, she had her stroke 5 years ago, right?
Well, February 27th will be 5 years that she had the stroke. The situation that led up to her stroke, we are living in the 5th year of that.
Wow. What
Yeah.
caused it?
Casey's stroke was caused by stress and trauma. She was turned inside out at UAB. We had some of the best doctors, and she had a cardiology team, a neuro team, a trauma team. They were good to my girl. And they turned her inside out nearly, running every possible test.
Right.
And they thought it was a dissection right here because that's where the obstruction was. The first, when she had the stroke, there was just a little obstruction, and they felt like it could have been from her blood pressure fluctuating up and down because she was so upset that a minute little clot just came and it wasn't a full blockage. It was like an obstruction, and they gave her a 100% recovery prognosis.
Wow.
But Casey had an ischemic stroke.
Right.
And with an ischemic stroke, you have a 25% possibility of having another one. And Casey fell in that 25%.
She did. Okay.
Well, and then, it happened on the 4th of March, and it wasn't addressed until the 5th of March, like at 11 o'clock that night is the first surgery.
Wow. So she had a craniotomy?
A craniectomy.
Ectomy. Okay.
Yes, they removed this portion of her little skull.
Right.
And then at like 3:45 in the morning of March the 6th, they had to go in and remove the back portion so her brain could swell.
Right.
And so she went 7 months without a bone flap right here. It was literally her little scalp just over her brain.
Wow.
And well, they would have not normally waited as long as they did to replace her bone flap. But in Casey's case, they waited because she was doing so well in her recovery. Her marvelous doctor wanted her to retain as much as she possibly could
Right.
because he was concerned that she was going to regress just a bit. And so we set it for this October. And she got it, and she never regressed. She just kept going.
Right. So what? Wow. That's actually. I mean, by the picture for the promo that we did, what a difference.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh. And I just want everybody to know that picture. When somebody showed me that picture they took, I was so mad. I never thought somebody would be taking a picture of her at her most vulnerable. Who would do that?
right.
And I was upset, but it ended up being one of the best things that could have happened for Casey. Because, see, that's etched in my mind. I'll
Yeah.
never forget
Right.
walking in that hospital room and
And
seeing her laying there like that. But see, she didn't see it, but she saw it through the pictures.
right.
And it
I
ended
feel
up
bad.
being the best things. And I'm so grateful to the person that took it
Wow.
because she helped my girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. But she does have aphasia.
She has severe aphasia. And I can finally, finally not feel like I have to protect her from that. Casey's life is her children. And
Yeah.
when she had her stroke and they didn't think she would, less than a percent, they honestly, and I didn't even know all the things that I found out when she had her craniectomy. They told me things that I didn't realize. But she survived, and we're so thankful. But her children are her biggest motivation. When she woke up from the surgery, the first thing she did was this and held up the number 4.
Oh,
I knew she was talking about her 4 girls. I knew it. And I said, they're fine. And that's when I knew my girl was going to give it everything she could. And she has.
yes. Oh, yeah.
By the
Absolutely.
grace of God. Now, she didn't do it alone. We put no faith. I mean, God has placed some wonderful therapists. Oh, her therapists we love. Her doctors, her nurses, they were just strategically placed in our path.
Right.
And she had a good team behind her, and then the Lord leading the way. So
Yeah. Uh, that's just amazing. I see there was a comment here. I just pulled it up from Stephen Albright says she's an amazing young woman.
thank you, Stephen, and we think you're amazing. He's
Yeah.
one of our favorites.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was yeah, I know. Lynette, I would me too. I wish I would she has no pictures of herself the first years. How would I I know I would love to have some of me too but
Well, and I get that, especially after Casey. I mean, I, that was just my mama heart, just wanting to protect everything for her.
right,
And but honestly, well, it was her bonus mama that took the picture, and she's been so good to Casey. I wouldn't trade anything for that picture.
right.
It helped Casey,
Wow.
and it just, you know, I was upset at first, but now I'm not. I know that it was meant to be.
Right, right. Now, what other deficits does she have?
Well, actually, the one thing that is holding her back the most is the aphasia. The second thing would be her arm movement. She still has not regained any movement in this arm. And I'll be honest with you, it really isn't something that we've focused a lot on the past couple of years, uh, because it's all about her children. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, she gets her children 50% of the time now, equal parenting. And that's all she ever wanted.
yeah. She
That's
went through a
all she
divorce.
wanted was her girls. And
Yeah,
she's got that now. And she's, you know, um, I can't slow her down, but it's not things I want her to be doing, like some of her therapy at home. She's gone. She's at the school. She's doing PTO, or she's at the gym. I mean, she just left me in a cloud of dust.
how old was she when she had it?
Casey was 29 years old,
Yeah, no discrimination having a stroke of age.
none whatsoever.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no, there's no discrimination, and there was no warning. I know the stroke community, we have the face and to look, we know what to look for.
Yeah,
But with Casey, none of that happened. I mean, or if it did, I didn't see it. She and I were in the kitchen, um, making plans for that day. She had been arguing, and that was a nightmare. So I said, "Put that phone away." And we had made plans. I walked in the living room and picked up her baby, walked back into the kitchen, and she was in the floor. At first, I thought she was faking.
Wow. Yeah.
And she was going, oh, making this oh. And I thought she was faking. And I said, well, not faking, but just being elaborate because we're that way sometimes. And I said, get up. It's going to be okay. And then I looked at her face and I said, oh my gosh. And I called 911.
Did you know what was going on? Did you know it was
I
stroke?
did. I told them, I think she's having a stroke.
Wow.
But the doctor at the emergency room they took her to said she was too young to have had a stroke.
You're kidding me. That's unbelievable.
I didn't think there was an age limit, but okay.
Wow. That's just
I will
unbelievable.
never know what could have been. And
Right. Well, you did the right thing calling, 911.
yes, yes.
Then soon after that, when they decided, well, she's not having a stroke, too young. What happened then?
What happened was they kept my daughter in that emergency room all day long trying to get an MRI, and she couldn't be still. So they finally got an MRI, and their MRI showed she didn't have a stroke, but they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. So
Wow.
they transferred her to UAB, University of Birmingham, and that genius doctor down there could tell by her, the MRI that she wasn't still. She wasn't being still. So he did another one at UAB, and that stroke showed up as pretty as day right there. Little bitty, just little bitty. It wasn't even a complete blockage, just
Right.
she had that second one, and buddy, it did it.
Unbelievable.
That did it. And I'm going to say this too. Casey was on a floor with a lot of stroke patients. It was the stroke floor, right?
Right.
And she was the youngest, and I was there with her. The thing I noticed, and the thing that I voiced concern about, they would come in there at the crack of dawn and shove her full of medication. And then, she couldn't hold her head up. The medicine was terrible itself. And then they'd want to come in and do physical therapy, and the kid couldn't even hold her head up. And then
Wow.
it was like, well, we'll just pass today. But then Casey would feel better later on in the day, and I knew we could get somewhere. I thought the reason they were dismissing her was because she didn't have health insurance. And I called my wonderful husband and I said, we got to get everything done, get that home ready for Casey because they're getting ready to kick us out of here. She doesn't have health insurance. And so, of course, my family went into mode. They got this house ready for Casey to come home. And in all reality, it wasn't that at all. They were trying to find resources for Casey. And I was so nervous. And I just thought they were trying to get her out of there. But they were trying to find resources. And they did. And they helped us when it was time for Casey to come home. But they would give her that medicine and expect her to do physical therapy. And she wasn't able. So I thought, I was upset, y'all.
Yeah.
No idea how lucky some people are. I was so upset.
Yes.
And I said, I'm taking my daughter home because I can shove her full of medicine in a comfortable spot. So I'm taking my daughter home. Whatever we need to do, we're going home today. I was very upset. And the doctor came in. Now, by this point, we were in rehab. I probably should have started with that. We were in the rehab part. And I thought they were just not giving her the treatment that she needed because she just needed to get out of there. But that wasn't the case. So the doctor came in the middle of my meltdown, and she asked me, "What would you do? How would you do this? How would you proceed?"
Wow.
I said, "Well, first, I'd get her up and give her some breakfast before I put all that medicine in her. And then I'd let her take a nap after she took her medicine. And then I would start her physical therapy at around 9 o'clock." Well, they did one better. They set her breakfast to come at 7 o'clock. She got up at 6 o'clock, took her medicine, ate her breakfast, took her medicine, and then she rested. And at 8 o'clock, she got up and got dressed for the day. And I want you to know, when they started doing that, Casey just kept going, and she's still going so
Wow.
good in her recovery.
Wow.
But that medicine that they give those poor stroke patients on an empty stomach, that's why they're laying in that hospital bed. No movement or anything. That's partly why, anyway.
Right. But did she go through the thing that most of us go through is, when you're in the hospital or rehab, I mean, they have to shower you, they got to bathe you, they got to do everything because we couldn't do it.
They didn't, I did.
Oh, good. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Good.
They showed me one time. She had the best occupational therapist at UAB. They showed me, and I did it. I
Good.
changed her bed. I
Yeah.
kept her room clean. I kept her sheets, her bed as comfortable. I went and bought a mattress pad for it. I had her as comfortable as I could. I didn't let them, there was no need in a stranger giving my daughter a bath.
Good. Good for you. Wow. What an amazing mama, right?
I'm just a mama.
You
But
did
I will
what
tell you a story. Let me tell y'all a story. Since she's not here to stop me. Oh, she's going to be so mad at me. So for about 2 weeks, I was scared that my child was going to die.
Yeah.
And when we knew she was going to live, she was put in what they call a step-down unit out of the critical care unit. And Casey went into the hospital February 28th, and we were in this critical care unit on March the 15th. The nurse came in, and we were answering all the questions, and she said, "Is this right? She hasn't had a bowel movement since February 27th?" And I said, "I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that part of her body. I was thinking of this part of her."
Right.
And Casey she hadn't went to the bathroom in 15 days. I didn't even think about it. They didn't think about it. So here they go again, wanting to just put her to sleep and do an ultrasound to see if there was a blockage. And I said, "Please don't put her to sleep. I just got her awake for more than 15 minutes at a time. So let's not put her to sleep. What are our other options?"
Right.
Well, they were just going to go with what the doctor said, which, that's fine. But I went to CVS right around there, and I bought me 2 Fleet enemas.
Oh,
And I gave my daughter an enema in that hospital bed with plastic bags and everything. And she went to the bathroom, and they didn't have to do another surgery on her.
it didn't work.
It worked.
Sorry, Casey.
And she, Lord have mercy, that girl was she was so uncomfortable, and she couldn't speak. But I could see it. And then after we got her cleaned up, and I had her gowns and everything there for her, she looked like a different person. So that was one surgery I saved her from. I know.
Yeah, absolutely. So you Because I'm sure you as a
I had
caregiver,
to treat Casey like she was an infant because she was an infant. She went
right?
back to the infant stages. She had to relearn how to hold a spoon,
Mhm.
how to eat, how to drink, um, everything. She had to relearn how to brush her teeth. I remember showing her how to brush her teeth, and I could just see my little girl, she's just my girl. And she had to relearn everything, but
Oh yeah,
she did, and she did a great job. I
yeah.
mean, she did a very good job. A sunshine, right? A
That's
shadow.
a- yeah, so I can only imagine how was your relationship is completely changed with her and you both
Yes.
since
We are
it's
so
all happened.
close. We are codependent on each other, and that's not good, especially for me.
Yeah.
She's fine. I'm the one struggling now, and guess what? She's helping me. She is helping me. She is
Well,
the sweetest thing.
absolutely. So, what lessons have you learned about strength and resilience through this journey?
For me, I've learned every time I get ahead of the Lord, He lets me get ahead of Him. And it never goes the way I want it to. But if I will wait on the Lord, the strength and the resilience are just unstoppable.
Wow.
And that's one reason that um, I'm struggling, I think, is because I've put all my eggs in Casey's basket.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
had a dear friend to tell me just a couple of weeks ago. He and I were talking at UAB, and it was like he gave me permission to let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it made me feel good. I love him for that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I have stepped back, and Casey is she's doing well, but she does have serious aphasia.
Does she
It's
drive?
she drives everywhere. She goes everywhere. She's got a card that says, "Hey, I have aphasia."
Oh,
We
good.
have it on the back of her driver's license. Um, but it worried me about her going out alone, and I offended her by constantly wanting to protect her.
Sure.
She can't speak very well, but she can communicate. I mean, she can get her point across.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, yeah. This. I mean, so what was I going to say? Um, does your how your family your because you have other kids,
Oh my
how's their
goodness.
relationship with her?
Listen, Jerry, I want you to know if it wasn't for my family,
Yeah.
there would be no me and Casey. We would be probably under a bridge somewhere. I don't know. But my whole family, my children, I have such guilt sometimes for
Really?
not I do for them three. I don't I don't give them the attention that I give Casey. I don't I don't necessarily remember their children's birthdays unless they give me a heads up because I am a little scatterbrained right now. Um, but I couldn't do anything if it wasn't for my family and my children. I love them and I need them and they are my everything.
Sure.
But I also would not expect that from my children to have any animosity toward the situation.
Right.
They've given up their lives too. This is a whole new chapter and a whole new part of all of our lives, our whole family. But we're so thankful we have it. There's a lot of people that don't get the opportunity that we have to care for Casey, and
Right. Right.
she's doing a lot. But I still have concerns because of the aphasia.
Yeah. I exactly. This is a good. Stephen also there's a great. Can you read that there?
Hey, no, but that's an excellent idea because I was about to talk about that. Listen,
Perfect.
Stephen, we love us some Stephen. He's a good guy, and
Yeah.
he's always been so good to my Casey and supportive. So that is a great idea. We are working on getting some awareness about aphasia. out. I don't know if we're going to just pass out little tracts, but we're going to do something. We have some wonderful people that we're getting resources from. I know y'all know Carol Dow.
Yeah.
She and her sons are good people. And she, I know, is just a phone call away. She will do anything to help anyone in a situation. And we want to bring awareness. Listen, I remember the one time when I took Casey to the emergency room, she had just had her first seizure. The little nurse was Googling aphasia. And I thought, oh me, I thought that would be something everybody knew in the medical industry, but it's not.
I know.
And, we need to help them know a little bit about it. Even if there's just a little card that they can look at and awareness about aphasia. We would love that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Let's see here. There was Kevin Loftus here. What type of exercise program does Casey follow now?
Well, now what she's doing, because she doesn't do physical therapy anymore, she's working with a personal trainer who happens to be a godsend. Her name is Jane. She speaks just positive affirmations over Casey, positive prayers over Casey, and she has helped. Casey can now get up off the floor by herself. But so what she's doing is Jane is working on this arm, and they're trying, because Casey still has the tone. She can do this. She has tone.
Yeah.
And they say as long as you have that tone, but it starts up here and goes down. And I guess I thought it should start down here and go up. I'm just looking at her fingers. But it starts here and goes down.
Yeah.
She does have tone, so there's hope.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Look, Casey, she is good with herself right now. I think the one thing that embarrasses Casey is the fact that she can't speak very well. And, aphasia patients tend to get left out of conversations, and we try to include her in everything. And it is, I'm going to tell you, it's a heavy load.
Yeah.
It's heavy trying to, I feel like we play charades every day, trying to figure out things she's trying to tell me. But we figure it out. It may take us a minute, but
oh yeah, absolutely. She's
we figure it out. But it's hurtful. I feel like I just should know everything that she's trying to say, but I don't.
Yeah. I know I've had so many people on that have severe aphasia, I know how tough that is. Does she have any issues with? For me, it does. There's a lot of conversations going on, and you're trying to concentrate on one conversation, or is that a issue that I get? Sometimes I have to leave the room when we have all the grandkids and everything over, because everybody's, and that's an issue. So I don't know if that is with her.
It is. It's a big issue. We have to turn down the TV and everything in order for her to really grasp what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And she'll tell you to stop, turn that down.
Yeah.
But yes. And, like I was saying earlier, I tried to keep it on the DL how much she had, because I was afraid it was going to be used against her.
Yeah.
And it kind of was, but not to the point I had to do anything anyway. It wasn't. It was just brought up, but I think Casey would benefit from more conversational therapy.
Yeah, that's therapy.
Yes. And that's what the National Aphasia Association, she has a pathologist there that we have been working with or speaking with. And that's what she said, that Casey needs more communication,
Yeah.
um, therapy.
Yeah. I've been told that many times, and speaking is therapy. You
And
know.
the words that she does come out with, other than just normal, it just amazes me. It just like vaccination. She she's gonna have to get a vaccination.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Oh, no, do you want to? That's
Wow.
up to you.
Wow. That's it's quite amazing what you've gone through, and now it's almost like separated. You know.
It is. I'm telling you, I'm dependent upon her.
Right.
I'm learning to let go. I'm telling you, my
Uh-oh.
heart, my mother heart was shattered. And
Uh,
I lived with this gut wrenching feeling just right at the top of my stomach for her. Just, I wanted nothing to stop her from having her children.
right.
Nothing on this earth matters to her but her children.
Yeah. 4 kids.
4.
Yeah.
She was 29 and had 4 babies.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
see, she married young.
Yeah.
And, she didn't work except a few little retail jobs. And so she didn't have any Social Security credits paid in
Sure.
to get Social Security disability. She just had a little from working after school
Right.
and maybe a little part-time job here or there. But her job was being a wife and a mother.
Yeah. I totally
So
know.
she didn't qualify for Social Security disability. She qualified for SSI, supplemental security income.
Right.
And that's all she gets is $943 a month.
Right. Is she
No
allowed
child
to get?
support.
Is she?
She doesn't get anything like that.
Yeah. I understand. Can she get a job? I mean, not. I know she can, but can she get a job with SSI?
Well, they do have a program that she's actually registered for to
Mm.
help her go back to work.
Wow.
And the Social Security Administration uh, sent us the information for a company named Lakeshore here in Decatur, Alabama, and they're going to do training with her.
Oh, good.
Yes, they're going to help her.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. It's a godsend. Yeah. Some of these comments here.
Yes, it is. It's so hard. I understand that. It is frustrating. It's frustrating for them to try to answer questions. And on the other side of that, it's kind of frustrating for us trying to figure it out
Yeah.
and not let Casey know I'm trying to figure it out and I'm mad.
Yeah.
It's a little overwhelming.
Since like stroke survivor, a lot of short-term memory issues. Is that anything? Because me trying when I'm talking to my wife, and all of a sudden I'm talking, and I forget. Now it's kind of a joke.
I
But
did that.
you still do it.
I think that's just old age, Jerry.
Yeah, it's called OLD, right? It's funny.
But no, you're doing great. You're great.
No,
You're one of the nice. Oh my goodness, you were always so nice, and you still are.
oh,
Yes,
thank you so much. I really it means a lot.
thank you.
So
But
what?
we were, and any suggestions? I mean, you've already helped us out with some information on the therapy thing, and any suggestions that you have or anyone has to help us bring awareness to this little community about aphasia and just to let some people know.
Right.
And then
Mine, what I do is I go to the local where rehab facilities or hospitals that have stroke support groups or like you said earlier, which it's just frustration is some of the in the medical community they don't really realize aphasia. That's what's a sad thing. So you both going out to call up. That's what I do. I go to some of the stroke support groups and I speak at because I was embarrassed when I had my stroke. I don't want anybody to see me. I thought I was 49. I had a stroke. I was more embarrassed I had one. So I want to go to these support groups now and talk. So I would suggest that's one of the things I would suggest you both going and kind of spreading awareness for that.
She does have a very inspirational story. I mean, of course, there was some hard parts of her story, but the good outweighs the bad tremendously. I mean, she is in a place right now. No one thought she would be there,
Right. Wow.
and I'm not saying I didn't know how sick Casey was going to be
Right.
based on what the doctors had told me,
Right. Right.
and I didn't care.
Right. Oh, I understand that.
I know. I did have one doctor tell me though, um, to make certain I was doing this for her and not my own selfish reasons. So whenever she would get so sick, I would just cry and think, "Oh my gosh, I'm being selfish. I'm being selfish." And we had a little nurse that opened my eyes to that I wasn't being selfish.
Right. Right. I mean, it's not.
It was awful. We've been through so much.
Yeah.
But I know there's somebody out there, God bless them, that's been through it worse than we have.
So yeah, I know. So what advice would you give the caregivers out there that are going through it? I mean, that's it's a tough one for the
Well,
caregivers.
the first thing I would tell you, you're going to take a reputational hit, and you have to be willing to do that.
Wow.
Um, and you call it like it is. Don't add to and don't take away, but call it like it is. Let them know, hey, you can't give her a handful of pills on an empty stomach. Hey, they need to sit up and wake up before you come in wanting to do certain activities with them. Stroke survivors. And I would just say, put every bit of your faith in God, in the great physician, because that's who our faith was in.
Right.
He used some mighty, wonderful people in Casey's story. God strategically placed these people in Casey's path.
Right.
And we are so grateful to him. Just don't give up and keep God first. And don't get ahead of him like I've done before. Don't get ahead of him.
Yeah. He'll put you right back in your place. Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow, it's incredible. I mean, well, we definitely will have her, get her back on or get her on with you again. But
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry about that. And if y'all could just see the way she looks at me like this morning when I upset her.
she got upset.
She doesn't want to get upset, but she's like, sorry, and just walked off.
Wow.
Just walked off.
Wow. Does she take any seizure medicine? Since you mentioned she had a seizure, she does.
She does take seizure medicine. And the reason and see, she's gotten her driver's license back. So she can drive. And the only thing about her seizures, Casey's seizures are typically started by something she's upset over, some kind of stress. And that's when Casey will have a seizure.
Yeah.
And her little body is just not designed to process stress.
Yeah.
She just can't process it. So we've been trying to keep her little life as happy and
sure
and peaceful as we can. The only thing that has ever set her back is when something comes up about her children. That was it.
Yeah.
The only thing. Those children got her to where she is now by the grace of God. And those children are going to get her even further, especially now that she has them equal parenting time. Equal.
Yeah. So nice. So nice. A lot different than probably when she had her stroke. And
oh my goodness. It was just, it was just unreal. And the biggest mistake somebody could make is to think that it couldn't happen to them.
Yeah.
Because our entire lives, our existence on this earth changed in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And everything's changed.
Yeah.
But you know something, Jerry? Casey's daughters, We were talking about it the other day. I have never had to translate anything from her to her children.
Nice.
They know. They've
Yeah.
told me that her oldest daughter has told me, "No, Papa, that's not what she's saying."
They're smarter than we think.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah,
They
and they
love
listen
their
to
mommy.
yeah, and they listen to everything. I know
Yes,
with
they
mine.
do. They do. They're good, good girls. So good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now the seizure medication that Casey's on, she was taking that gabapentin.
She
And
was.
yeah, and we just didn't think that one worked for her as well.
Right,
And now I don't even know what she takes anymore.
right. I
Starts with a Z, Zomicide or something like that. I'm afraid to start trying to pronounce those
I
medications.
know.
I might summons the devil or something.
Yeah, yeah, I take mine and it's Keppra and lacosamine. But I don't Robin, we talked is Casey married? She was.
She was married, and no, she's not married now. She was married for about 8.5 years. And then after the stroke, she started dating this sweet little guy that lived in Lincoln, Tennessee, I believe. It was somewhere in Tennessee.
Right.
And he had a little boy, and um, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So now Casey has it in her head and in her heart. Uh, she doesn't want to date anybody that has children because she has 4 girls and she doesn't want the children to have a bunch of, siblings here and there and related to here and there. And
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
doesn't want to add more children to their lives. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a good thing or a bad thing. And she summed it up by telling me God knows exactly what kind of man she needs.
Right.
And when I see her with someone, I'm going to know that's who God put in her life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow.
But she's
Wow.
beautiful. Oh, my
Oh,
girl's beautiful.
I know when we talked the other, I mean, I feel like I've known you for a Brady Bunch,
Yes,
long
I
time.
do. And y'all have been so good. The one thing about being a caregiver, and which I want y'all to know, for the first 3 years, now I was offended by that word caregiver.
Yeah, you said
I
that.
am her mama, and I'm just her mama. I'm doing what mamas do. Um, but then I realized I am her caregiver and her mama. And it's okay for me to say I care for her. I don't have to care for her like I did.
Right.
I never liked that word, but now I love that word. What a blessing to get to care for somebody who
Right. Really
depends
nice.
on you and loves you. And
Yeah.
a lot of people with Casey's situation and the brain, part of her brain that was uh, injured was not. A lot of people get angry. They have parts of their brain that just makes them angry because the
Sure.
brain is upset and it's angry.
Yeah.
And a lot of people lash out, and understandably so. I mean, bless their hearts. But Casey has never done that. She has been, and that's probably why I'm so um, protective of
Yeah, I
her.
don't blame you.
I know how sweet Casey is. I know how sweet she was. I know if you have a problem with Casey, that's your fault. I'm not just saying that because she's mine. I know every woman thinks that their child's the best, but now she's remarkable.
Yeah, she's a special person,
She
special
is,
woman.
and I'm her mama. What a blessing.
Yeah. I just have to does she have because Robin Martinez here
Does she
says,
have what, dear?
well, because like me, I have PVA, and that's what Robin has, pseudo-Barbera effect, where for me, I just cry a lot. And I don't know
You
if
know,
she has any kind of,
she doesn't. And that's why when I see her crying, I get so upset.
yeah,
She doesn't cry. I know she's lonely. Because when we were in rehab, one of her wonderful, wonderful uh, nurses told us exactly how it was going to go. And she was right. She said, when you first get home, you're going to be overwhelmed by
yeah,
people wanting help. And that's going to last for about 6 weeks. And then you're going to see people, they have their own lives. And
yeah,
that is exactly what has happened.
yeah. But it's okay to ask for help. I mean, that's,
Mhm. And Casey just has invested all that time in her children.
that's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
she drives, she gets them up in the morning, she fixes their breakfast, their lunch. I help her on some mornings with their lunch, but she wants to do it herself. She'll
good
just,
for her.
I got it.
Yeah, she doesn't have neural fatigue, like it's tired. Yeah,
She does. And I have to suggest to her to take a rest.
yeah,
See, I it's just been recently, Jerry, that I realized that neuro fatigue doesn't go away. It can actually get a little worse the older you get. And that was one of the things that most stroke survivors really struggled with
sure.
was that neuro fatigue.
Yeah,
And in the afternoon, I can tell that she just needs to sit down, take
yes.
a rest.
She let's see, the neural fatigue, for me, I think I'm really tired, so I may need just maybe lay down and
Yes.
up. I mean, I'm okay. Sometimes I'm out, but
Well, that's how she does, and I'll get her to lay down for a little bit, but I was hoping that neuro fatigue would go away, but she motors through it
yeah,
somehow.
yeah. You're right, Yvonne. I put the
Oh, our
quote.
Yvonne, we love Yvonne. What is
Yeah,
she saying?
Casey is beautiful.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. She
yeah,
is. She's a good girl. Casey's always been a good girl.
yeah.
Both of my girls are good.
Yeah,
And
she'll have to go back and like replay to see these comments. I really um, um, whoops, I really appreciate you all making all these comments and asking questions. I really appreciate it because it's
I wish I could see them, but I can't. I mean, they're there. I just can't see them because I'm like,
oh yeah, you can
I could
yeah,
do this and see them.
yeah, I could pull them up on
That's
on,
fine. You're
but
fine.
yeah, um,
But we have missed everyone in this community. We took a step back, and it was because Casey was primarily focusing on the children, her girls.
sure, I
And
don't blame
uh,
you. Yeah,
we've just taken a step back. But now that she's on this whole new journey, we're just going to try to help as many people as we can.
yeah, absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Is there anything else that we missed for now? Because we'll have to do it and have Casey on.
Yes,
You,
please do, because she would, and I would love for you guys to see how well she's doing. She was. I didn't know she had plans today.
yeah,
I, I'm
things
not.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Is there anything else you want to say until we meet up again?
I just love everyone in this community, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. The many people that have prayed for myself and Casey, it's we thank you, and thank you for bearing with me in my my shortcomings.
No, no. You're awesome, and I appreciate how you shared as as your mom. We won't say caregiver,
Yeah,
but you're okay with that. That
yeah,
shared your part of the journey, which is so remarkable to hear so much detail that you
yes,
are aware of because it
yes.
it doesn't go
Well,
away.
I do wish that there was more awareness. That is the one thing that's going to come from this.
Yeah.
We're going to get more awareness. Casey and I both are helping with the victim services. We're joining the domestic violence advocacy program, and we have things that we're working on right now.
Good, good. I love it, and like you said, that's why I do this, to spread awareness out there. Even if we can get one person to help, then and more. But I think we did our job.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and there'll be a lot of people watching, replaying the show, because and I appreciate you guys sharing this to spread awareness. But yeah, it's been good. I love hearing the story, and looking forward to having beautiful Casey on with you again.
Thank you, and she will.
Yeah,
She will.
that's great. Any last words?
Just thank you all. Thank you for caring about us. Thank you for loving Casey and your prayers. Thank you, Jerry. You're just as good as they come. You've helped so many people.
Oh, you are so kind. I appreciate it very much. My gosh, make me all tear. Just one thing. Um, when I cry, it's the happy cry all the time. I mean, watching The Voice or something, someone inspires me, I'm just crying. And all my grandkids, Papa, your Papa's crying again. It's so funny that I laugh about it. So it's not a bad cry. It's just a fun one. So
Yes.
but yeah, thank you guys. All these comments, I can't wait till you see them. When you watch the replay, there's some really rock.
Jerry is the bomb. Thebomb.com.
Oh, this is great. Well, Patricia, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and then Tuesday and Thursday. So whenever you guys, or when you are ready to come on, if it's next Thursday, whatever, it'd be great to have her on too with you.
Yes, she will. I'll talk to her first.
Oh, this is great. Well, I look forward to it so much.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it too. And everybody, thank you for being here. And until Tuesday next week. So, yeah.